Hello and good day to all friends. This is Moshtaba Rasti from the Thales team, and today is November 22nd, 2025. I'm here with you to analyze Bitcoin using the Thales Market Screener tool. Please note that these analyses are for educational and informational purposes only, and if you use them to take positions in the market, the responsibility for any profit or loss will be entirely yours. Alright, I'm here with a morning review after being away for 2 days. As you can see in the current image, we've filtered the trades from November 21st up to now for the expiry date of tomorrow, November 23rd, in the first database. As you can see, there's a possibility for movement in both directions. Call buyers above 86,200 are roughly in profit, and put buyers below 86,000 are also in profit. This shows a state of indecision in the market from the perspective of traders in the first database. In this image, you can see that we've applied the same filter system to the second database where the curve is completely bullish and profits are seen above 85,100. The levels 88,800 and 94,000 could be the next targets. Below, however, there's a strong gamma focused around 81,000, which suggests the possibility of another attack on this area. Overall, buyers have the upper hand with about 110 Bitcoin, specifically call buyers above 82,000 with around 5,000 in profit. Given the time that's passed since the trade started, it can be said that this outlook is being realized and in fact has already been realized to some extent. But put buyers whose outlook hasn't materialized yet are targeting below 81,000. Among sellers, put sellers have complete dominance, seeing 82,500 as the floor, which naturally hasn't been reached, while call sellers have set the ceiling at 85,700, which we touched just an hour ago with a shadow. Overall, considering the holiday we're in, it's likely that the price will fluctuate within that central delta node. Here, you can see that it's likely to oscillate between the floor and ceiling of this node, which is roughly between 83,000 and 87,000. We'll probably see this volatility until tomorrow and maybe even until Monday within this range. In the next image, you can see that we've moved the expiry to November 24th. You can see that the possibility of movement in both directions is still evident, but the dominance toward the downside is clear. On the upside, the price could even move up to 90,000. But on the downside, a target below 79,000 has been observed. So again, we see that, in fact, there is a possibility here, since we are in a corrective bullish leg upward, this trend could continue for now, and we can see its effects here. In all analyses, there is always a possibility for an upward move, but the downward direction keeps showing itself more and more. If we go to the next chart, you'll see that we've moved the expiration date to November 25th. Again, you can see that the outlook is still bearish. Of course, with about 550 Bitcoins on the upside, a ceiling with an average between 8,800 and 6,000 is visible, which, of course, from the intensity of the steps present, it's clear that more contracts have been allocated here. So for the 25th of November, where we've moved the expiration, you can see again that there's an emphasis on an upward move because there are a lot of call sales, meaning a ceiling has been identified with an average around 8,000. So we could see a rebound up to that point. In fact, there's a possibility that the price in this bullish leg could go up to around 90,000, 88 to 90,000. But still, from the overall shape of the curve, it's clear that the outlook is downward. Ultimately, we've moved the expiration to the end of the week, meaning the 28th or 29th, and as you can see, the bearish view still dominates, and profits are seen below 81,000. So again, you can see that it's clear and transparent that the curve is sloping downward, and for the end of the week, the bearish outlook prevails. Moving on to the intersection of the buyer and seller charts, you can see that the upper agreement point is at 87 and 260 at the bottom is 81. Again, these are numbers we keep arriving at in our analysis. The upper agreement point is in profit and forms the agreement zone. This point is profitable, and you can see that a zone is formed, a point of agreement between the seller and the buyer, which increases the chance and likelihood of seeing the price in this area. And naturally, with this bullish leg that we're currently in, the correction we're experiencing, it seems that we're following this path. It's happening, and we're heading toward the 87 to 88 range, somewhere around these levels. So we've actually entered these same points into our indicator. you can see that the indicator's movement still shows a significant downward momentum for tomorrow. However, the point to notice is that the price dropped sharply below the red band here. You can see there was a big gap, which was immediately filled. This gap, or if we want to call it a gap, was quickly covered as the price moved back up to the red band. So based on this, we still think there's a chance that this upward correction could continue up to the green band, which is around 88,000. After that, it's likely we'll see another move down toward 80,000. In this image, you can also see that two databases have actually been processed. You can see that in total there are 300 Bitcoin with the long straddle strategy for tomorrow, which is shown in the process database. Buyers of call options see the price above 825,000 as profitable, and on the downside, they see profits below 727,000. As you can see, this is naturally happening on the buyer side, and we should see that we can probably go up to around 828,000, and then we'll likely move toward a bearish expectation. This image is interesting. We have processed the database for the November 24th expiration, looking at trades above, I think, 20 or 15 Bitcoins. For November 24th, a bullish spread strategy worth 500 Bitcoins can be identified, which again confirms this bullish leg that we are currently moving in. The break-even point for this strategy is 87.4%, the median profit is 89.5%, and the maximum profit is 91.7%. This strategy suggests the possibility of the current bullish move continuing for November 24th, which is actually 2 days from now. So, as we mentioned, in the coming days, this strategy also confirms a move even toward, well, here the peak is now 92,000, and after that, we'll probably see a move downward. This same strategy shows that we've capped the profit at the top, meaning if the trader was expecting an uncontrolled rally, they wouldn't have closed the profit at the top. When they do close it, it means they expect a certain level of profit and then a move back down. That's why they've also closed their loss at the bottom. This spread strategy is exactly for that reason. They've limited and closed their downside loss so that if the price reverses, since a reversal is expected, they won't incur a heavy loss. Well, in the next image, you can see that we've actually considered the expiry at the end of the week, November 28th. What's notable in this expiry, based on the heavy trades processed in the database, is 2 put purchases totaling 3,000 Bitcoin, 2 put buys, each for 1,500 Bitcoin, one with a strike price of 87 and the other with a strike price of 82. So in total, the average strike price is around 81,200. That means, together, these 2 trades amount to 3,000 Bitcoin puts bought, and we're still expecting a move downward below 81,000. In terms of liquidity, we're also seeing high liquidity in the 48-hour heat map, with liquidity levels standing out from about 86 to 90,000, or even a bit higher. The liquidity is high, which again raises the possibility of a liquidity hunt, and that the price might target this level. And finally, to sum up, as we said, we can expect this upward move to continue up to 88,000, but considering all the bearish reasons we've discussed and the overall sentiment of traders towards the end of the week, our likely target by the weekend will be an attack on the 80,000 level. Thanks for your attention. Until the next analysis, have a good afternoon and goodbye.